Hey there, so today before beginning, if you like this kind of content, if you say to yourself, that umbrella guy, I love what you do, I love your channel, well that's awesome. Thank you first of all. Secondly, make sure that you're subscribed. That definitely helps out. Hit that bell for daily notifications. That way you know when videos are coming in. And if you really love that channel and want to go the extra mile, well, links are in the description. They definitely help channels out. More on that at the end of the video. So today we are returning to that wonderful world of anime. And as I say all the time, the world is still a wonderful one. These people, they may cloud that, they may make it murky, but make no mistake, it still has impact. Now today we are again looking at people that have gone out brigading. They've tried to burn down someone. They tried to destroy his life and livelihood. And while they were at it, they've tried to burn down anyone that decided they were going to ask for some kind of proof. See, that's the kicker here too, isn't it? As they go and they try to boot someone out of something, as they try to go out and act for whatever reasons they have, people that stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm listening, but I'm not hearing a lot. Well, those people out there, they need to be taught a lesson. Make no mistake too, as this stuff moves forward, it gets uglier as well. You've seen it already. I mean, if you think about the reflections that you've seen, if you think about those first words that you heard, like alt-writer, think about people like Mars Girl stepping up and saying, oh, all these alt-writers, or, what they're saying is current year Nazis, all these current year Nazis, they're coming and riding to your defense, Vic. You need to do something about that. Also, they tried to tie things to Vic, talking about the Resin Bull Rangers and the use of Führer out there, not because of Full Metal Alchemist. Oh no, because, well, we're talking about Nazis, of course. That gives them the idea in our social vernacular where they can go out and punch said Nazi. Also think about the way that Rekieta Law's been treated. When you talk about words like racist, I mean, they go out and attach the blackface lawyer. Why? Because the qualifier, blackface, that says that guy there, he's a problem. Why? Because, well, he's not just the internet lawyer, the law splainer. Nope, he's a blackfacer. He's a racist. These days, destroy somebody. Over and over again, they step up. They say also, if you look at, say, Amanda Wynn Lee, that person has gone out and said, you don't stand with Vic. You stand with the ARPist. Why do you stand with that guy? Well, because you're some kind of monster. And well, Shane, he's taking it further. Make no mistake, too, this stuff, it will go from a broader context, like this statement that you're seeing, and it will become more narrow and more defined, because these things, they're meant to destroy you, just like they were meant to destroy Vic. So, some of the louder Vic supporters are apparently just people who themselves have been accused of sexual harassment, and this is their rallying cry. Do tell. Save this man, because then it makes them innocent too. So you have somebody here that's saying you're just being loud, because I would say that when you see this set up, Shane, we're going to talk about you in just a second, and you're somebody that people could easily point a finger at and say, well, that guy over there, the reason that he's being so loud, well, look at his own statements. You maybe could learn a little bit about it, and what you learn, it's really scary. Now, for myself, I'm not trying to do that, by the way, but I think how that could swing open, that context could come a crashing in. It could be a reality check. And of course, I mean, you could go out and say anything like this, but that's the game that these people play. They get uglier and uglier as they do this. Notice certain people that are present too. Dominic Sky. This person already has been caught in a very ugly game. If you missed my video info on it. Essentially, you had a leak for a secret Facebook group. And this should be a lesson to anyone too. If you have a secret group out there and you have a few people in it, it's not so secret probably. There are probably people that will leak it, and especially if you're doing bad. And Dominique Sky and friends, they were definitely doing bad. There was a cosplayer out there that they wanted to teach a lesson. Why? Because that person had used words like cuck and soy, oh my God. And also, they had talked about someone being autistic, oh my God. If you look at these people's statements, that's actually really ironic, really interesting considering what they say. But what they were using that for is burning their life down. They were going to go at their jobs. They were talking about both of the things that they do there. And also, they were talking about blacklisting them as far as conventions go, as far as being a cosplayer goes. You know, the most disturbing part of that, too, the anime community, the people out there that are in charge of a lot of this stuff, they didn't stand up and say, hey, that person is a monster. Nope, they circle the wagons, or they pretend it didn't happen at all. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. Voice actors that go in and give these people back pats, they will make excuses for them if it comes up, and it hasn't even come up, because they will pretend it doesn't exist as long as they can. I would encourage people, in fact, anytime someone brings up how great this person is, go and take some of those screenshots there. Now, as far as Shane goes, I find it to be interesting that we see this statement, considering we've seen statements like this and worse. LOL, 15 years ago, I was like the one-night stand king of conventions. Looking at that, first of all, man, I would ask for proof, but I don't want any proof on this kind of stuff. Is that what happened to your chair, Shane? But continuing on, I never did it without consent, of course. Well, what happens if somebody went out and said, hey, you did? Should we listen and believe them, Shane, or should we listen to you and your statement? See, that's where it's going to get a little bit confuzzled there. We're going to have a little bit of that confusion, that fuzzy mathematics, because listen and believe, unless it's just like what Ron was shopping around with Neil Kaplan. Listen and believe, unless it's someone like us, then we'll circle the wagons. But continuing, but still not something to be proud of at all, which is why I changed at some point, and why I am the only person on the KickVic's side who just doesn't see a criminal. You don't just see a criminal. I always wondered about this statement here. What exactly are you trying to imply? Are you trying to say that what you heard about Vic there, you're seeing that mirrored at yourself? I mean, that seems like a statement that goes beyond that. And it doesn't look good. In fact, like I said, people could come out, they could make accusations about you just based on that. What happens if 13 years ago someone wants to say, well, you did this, you did that, you did the other, and well, I had too much alcohol at the time. Would you still be the king of one-night stands, or would you be that guy out there that, of course, has changed his ways? Also, in that, again, doesn't see a criminal. What exactly does that imply? I would be very curious. I also found this statement to be very telling, too. It talks about Shane himself as well. You see the question asked here by Say the Girl? Oh yeah. So why not? Any of them are documented. Why all we get is he said, she said, instead of actual evidence of him doing these things. Asking why we don't have any evidence about Vic. Shane comes in and makes some statement that when you connect it to other statements there, again, I could go out and I could make nasty accusations like this person likes to make. But, I do believe in due process. But still, look at these statements. There's been stuff documented, but it never makes it outside the con. Heck, one I worked with took dozens of security reports each year, held on to them, and then just tossed them after a year or two. No one outside of management or con security ever knew what was in them. Very interesting. So you admit to being part of a system that throws away reports, that has gone out and basically turned a blind eye. Does that include behavior that you might be associated with? See, there are many questions that could come up in that. Many questions that, again, could turn around. But hey, that's not the game, is it, Shane? So somebody asked that back too. Wait, they toss away actual evidence of him doing stuff? Are we serious with this? And you really wonder why people doubt you when you say stuff like this. Exactly. Hey, well, there could be that, but it was just thrown away. Also, when you think about that kind of stuff and the way they've been shopping, Shane, he's part of his own setup as far as it goes with the convention. They went in and they changed up the rules and on. They put in some rules that, well, it's kind of interesting to see put together. I actually talked about these in a video too. But when you look at this kind of stuff, you have to wonder, could somebody go out and question your motivation for this? Again, after all, when we look at all of these statements and we look at all of this browbeating, when it comes together, what keeps you from being the person aimed at like this? See, that's what I find about these people too. When you go out and you look at what they do and how they operate, if the tables were turned, they would be screaming and yelling about how people need to believe them. But when it comes to someone standing up and saying, hey, we need to actually look at due process and on, not only do they want to shut that down, but they want to do it in a way that says, well, the reason that you're standing up there, that's actually because you, out there, you nameless mass, there are many of you that have been accused of this thing too. And this is your rallying cry because that guy out there, well, if he is innocent, we save him. Well, we're innocent by proxy. I would say actually that anybody that has been accused of anything anyway, they are innocent until proven guilty. But of course, this mob out there, the real law explainers, people like this guy, they don't want to think that. They want to think that they would be innocent. Of course, if they were blamed for something, they run with the right people to blame them for something too. That could happen anytime. Again, you look at these old statements here. This kind of stuff is like a time bomb going off. It reminds me of a sideshow. I've said this before. Watching these people get together and set up these rules, it's like watching a sideshow with someone juggling dynamite. Heck yeah, it's fun to watch. And yeah, you could do that. But more often than not, someone's going to lose a limb or worse when they go out and perform that way. And well, this performance, this setup, that's what exactly it looks like. These people, they'll do anything to keep that eye focused away from them too. They'll go out, it gives them attention, but also it keeps attention off of them. Because when you swim with sharks, well, you don't want to be the one with blood in the water, do you? But anyhow, you tell me what you think about all of this madness. And really, when you leave comments, however. You can be pro, con, it doesn't really matter to me. I look at a lot of comments out there. I get a mixed bag of them too, and that's okay. You are entitled to your own opinion, so let me know what you think. Also, like I said at the beginning of this, if you like this kind of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Definitely helps out there. Hit that bell for daily notifications. That way you know when videos are coming up. Sometimes I change up there. I try to upload on a schedule, but every now and then that falls apart. Schedules, oh no. Also, when you're looking at this stuff too, if you want to go and leave likes, I appreciate that. And if you want to go further, if you really like the channel and want to help support that, links are in the description. That helps out. Catch daily live streams too. That way we can talk about it and you can make your voice heard there, because I try to listen to everyone. And beyond that, again, leaving comments. Now, ending this, I want to say that unlike these people, and Shane definitely is included there because Shane is a representative of the con scene. mean? When you look at them, they have forgotten the people who make that possible. They have forgotten who exactly makes every endeavor work. That's you. I don't want to be like them. So I always try to end by saying that I appreciate you showing up. I do notice you out there. These folks, they have forgotten you. I don't want to ever be like that. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. And we'll do this again very soon. Thanks.